Welcome to this edition of McAllen Update. I'm Roy Cantu.
And I'm Roxanne Lerma. Today we're out at the Palmview Community Center Splash Park trying to beat the South Texas heat. New weekday hours are in effect for both of McAllen's splash pads. The spouts will be open and fun will be had from 9 a.m. to noon and then again in the evening from 5 to 9. On weekends, you can bring your kiddos to run around in the splash parks from 10 a.m. to 9 at night. Visit the park at 5201 Zinnia or this splash pad in South McAllen at the Palmview Community Center, 3401 Jordan Road.
The heat also means that it's that time of the year for Valley leaders to meet at their annual hurricane conference. Here's Roxanne Lerma with more.
We're out at the McAllen Convention Center for the 2014 South Texas Hurricane Conference. To help us out with all the information, Mayor Jim Darling, thank you for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mayor, why do you think it's so important for us to hold events like this in our city?
Well, you know, the whole idea of this is preparedness, and it's hard to sustain that. And so this is not only a reminder, but it also there's some tools, great exhibits, great speakers to help us be better prepared and help us sustain the preparedness that we need for natural disasters and man-made disasters that can occur.
So last year was kind of a quiet season for us in terms of hurricanes, but we don't want folks to let their guard down, so to speak.
Yeah, you know, and not only are we talking about hurricanes, you could have flood events from named storms, for instance, from tropical storms, not only here but up through the Pacific and Mexico. You could have chemical spills. You know, I said we live on a border and there's a lot of things that happen. We had a fish kill, for instance, in Mexico, and I know the Regional Water Authority is going to have a roundtable to talk about, just talk about that in general, what we should do from a standpoint of reaction and those things. So hailstorm, we had a hailstorm that devastated a couple square miles of McAllen 2 years ago. So hurricanes are important and they're out there, but there's a lot of other things we need to be prepared for and some that we don't even know about. And so I think this is the whole idea that is be ready and try to predict what's going to happen in the future so that you can provide the resources that we need to respond for our citizens.
We're seeing the Border Patrol here, just about every police department, all of our emergency responders. How important is it? Regionalization. Yeah,
regionalization is kind of a concept where you concentrate everything. I think what really we're talking about shared services where you know, something happens in one locality, everybody contributes to making sure that the citizens get served in that locality. And so I know we've in the past gone to Galveston with our public works people. We've gone to Falfurrias when they've had storms up there. And so that shared service kind of concept is very important because I don't think anybody has the facilities to do that alone. And so the idea of sharing services and being ready together is very important.
All right, so it's all about being prepared. Mayor, thank you for joining us.
Okay,
From the 2014 South Texas Hurricane Conference, I'm Roxanne Lerma.
Thanks, Roxanne. You should always have an emergency kit ready to go in case of a hurricane. That includes a ready supply of food and water. 1 gallon of water per person per day is the recommended amount. Have canned or boxed food that won't spoil, and a 7-day supply of medication is also suggested.
Have a battery-powered or hand-crank radio plus a flashlight and batteries. Prepare any special items you might need for infants or the elderly and be ready with pet food. And now back out to our Roy Cantu for more of our hurricane preparedness coverage.
We're here at the South Texas Hurricane Conference here at the McAllen Convention Center. With me right now is the City of McAllen's city attorney, and he's also the emergency management coordinator for the City of McAllen, Kevin Pagan.
Hey Roy, how are you?
Fine, Kevin. Let me ask you, is the city prepared for any kind of an emergency?
Well, you know, we're constantly preparing. You can never be totally prepared for an emergency, obviously, but we are doing all of the things that we normally do, for example, in the run-up to hurricane season, by continuing our training that we do year-round, by making sure departments are aware of the things that maybe needed to be tweaked a little bit from last year, and, you know, mainly by letting our citizens know, hey, it's hurricane season again, and to kind of ignore the hurricane forecasts that come out. They're interesting, but as even the Weather Service says, it only takes one to constitute a busy season in the valley.
Kevin, there's ways people can get information now and be prepared for a hurricane, believe it or not, or any emergency, because the city has a system called Code Red. Do you want to explain that and what people can do?
Yeah, Code Red is an emergency notification system, Roy, that allows us to have immediate and direct contact with our citizens via an automatic phone dialing system that we use. And we have a database that if you have a so-called landline, a traditional phone line, and your address is in McAllen, you're probably already in our database. But as we know, in this day and age, more and more people are not using landlines at all, and they're just using their cell phone. And your cell phone number that you have, even if you bought it in McAllen and got a 956 area code, and even if your billing address is in McAllen, your cell phone is probably not in our database unless you register it. So we would strongly encourage people that want to receive alert notifications to go on to our website at McAllen.net, and they can go on and register that cell phone. It also allows you to indicate whether you prefer text messages or voice. This year, Roy, we're very excited because the Code Red system is recently upgraded, and it will allow us to immediately convert our voice messages into text messages. It'll also allow them to drink them directly to Twitter and Facebook and the other social networking sites.
All righty, Kevin, thank you very much. And of course, you can find more information on the city's website at McAllen.net. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roy Cantu.
And we're continuing our hurricane preparedness coverage and some really exciting, interesting aspects about that. Joining us to tell us more about that, Jorge Jalomo. Jorge, you're actually with Radiant RFID, and this is the first time I actually hear about these identification bands. So tell us about this new technology.
Sure. Well, this technology has been around for about 6 years, and what it is more for evacuation management. An example is if the valley had to evacuate because of a hurricane, and we know that there's a lot of citizens that cannot self-evacuate, so they would require government transportation. A lot of times let's say the county judge here would ask assistance from the state of Texas, and if the state of Texas brings down like resources like commercial buses, Coach USA or anything, we want to make sure that we account for all citizens that are being evacuated. So what our company does, we are the contractor for the state of Texas in the sense that they would utilize what we call a Texas wristband, and we put a wristband on every citizen and then that's being evacuated, so we can always track where the citizen is being moved. And the wristband also allows us to associate family members to the head of household, like the mom or a dad. So if the child gets separated, because they have a wristband, we can scan the wristband, and then now we can associate who the parents are, and then we can look for the mom and dad. Even if they're in different shelters, we can associate them and look for them and reunite families.
Okay, so I know that folks at home are probably wondering, how do I get this? Where do I get this information? How do I get these bands if I need them? So can you tell us that?
Sure, definitely, and most likely that always happens through the local emergency management office. So let's say, for example, if the mayor from McAllen or a county judge says, we're evacuating the county because of a disaster or a hurricane, then automatically the county, in conjunction with the city, will establish an evacuation center. So those citizens that cannot self-evacuate, they would be dropped off, let's say, for example, at the McAllen Convention Center, and then here is where they would get the wristband. They would be enrolled in the system, they would get in the wristband, they would be loaded in buses and then be evacuated to a safe area.
Excellent. Okay, Jorge Jalomo with some super important information for our Valley families. We thank you for being with us. From the 2014 South Texas Hurricane Conference, I'm Roxanne Lerma.
The City of McAllen and the City of San Luis Potosí reaffirmed their city partnership recently. Mayor Jim Darling and Mayor Mario Garcia Valdez inked a sister city agreement on June 6. A delegation from San Luis Potosí arrived at the McAllen International Airport to a red carpet welcome. The contingent from Mexico then toured several places of interest in McAllen before signing the agreement. Commissioner Hilda Salinas says the partnership is a win-win for both cities.
It's just overall a very good partnership between the two cities, as both cities, I said, are very economically viable cities, very prosperous, who are very committed to their citizens and very committed to continuing the success of their community.
This is McAllen's 16th sister city relationship. There's more exciting news for travelers. Another nonstop flight is being offered at the McAllen International Airport. Here's Roxanne Lerma with more.
That's right, Roy. We are going Hollywood at McAllen Miller International Airport. We're actually celebrating the inaugural flight to LA. And to help us out with that, our aviation director, Miss Elizabeth Suarez, joining us. Elizabeth, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for being here today. We're really excited.
Okay, so tell us, what's the excitement all about? Why is it such a big deal for us to have a direct flight McAllen to LA?
Well, you know, more than anything, what it does is it shows that our market is really interested in those popular destinations for vacations. And Allegiant has been so successful in our market with service service that's nonstop to areas like Las Vegas and Orlando. And so we were really excited that when the airline was looking at other westward connectivity, that they thought of McAllen as an important market for them. And so you can see all the fuss and all the commotion is about celebrating not only that partnership with the airline, but about being able to, as an airport, give all of our constituents and visitors great departure options, great vacation destinations. They're all nonstop, they're affordable, and it's hassle-free. This airport's a hometown airport.
We were actually talking to one of the travelers, and she's often going to LA for auditions, and so this is really exciting. So what kind of feedback have you gotten from our travelers here in McAllen?
I think the public is really excited to have yet another affordable vacation destination. We are really excited about that partnership that we continue to grow with each of our airlines. More than anything, the interest that we have is that we give the public what they want and that we're in tune with what the travel needs are for our visitors and our constituents. And so for us, that's part of the celebration, and that's what we continue to hear from all of our passengers that are utilizing some of these great options now.
At this point, it's seasonal, correct?
Yes, the Allegiant service to Los Angeles will be operating from June through September, and we're hoping that if it is a success that we are able to continue either seasonal service for popular vacation times or that we're able to continue to provide this service for the duration of the year.
Excellent. Okay, Ms. Liz, well, based on today, we're calling it a success already, so hopefully it's going to be even longer than September, but we'll be working towards that. Roy, now back to you.
The McAllen Fire Department extended a helping hand to their counterparts in Reynosa. The department donated a fire truck and much needed equipment to the city of Reynosa. The unit met its depreciation and was replaced with a newer model in McAllen. The fire truck was driven across the McAllen-Reynosa International Bridge by fire personnel. Then Mayor Jim Darling drove the truck for the last block into Reynosa's town square for the formal exchange. The 1989 Smealed fire truck has a 1,500 per minute pump and carries 500 gallons of water to battle fires. More improvements are coming to the downtown area. Work is beginning on a new park and ride. Roxanne Lerma has more.
That's right, Roy. It's all about giving the downtown area yet another boost in the city of McAllen. Joining us now is our acting transit director, Mario Delgado. Mario, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So, big deal, groundbreaking for the park and ride facility. So for folks that don't know, Mario, what is a park and ride?
Basically, a park and ride facility is designed to connect parking with transit, with public transit. So we've got this facility that we're getting ready to build, and it's going to tie into two of our fixed routes, and it's going to tie into our trolley route that operates here downtown on the weekends from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. That route is designed to take people all around downtown during the entertainment district as well as the art district on like I said, on Fridays and Saturdays. And so we're going to tie parking to transit, making it convenient for people to come park and use the downtown area.
Okay, so bring it home for folks. If you're out in the community, why is this such a big deal, such a good thing for our area residents?
Well, it certainly alleviates some congestion downtown, that's for sure, and it makes it convenient. You know, sometimes it's difficult to find parking, but if you have an additional parking space, and then you can tie it into transit, and then future project is we want to have a bike share station here that will allow people to park here, and if you've got a short distance to travel to your destination, you can use a bike that you would rent out as part of the bike share system to go to that short destination as well. So we're going to build that into this project as well in the future.
Okay, so we're quickly moving on getting started and doing the work. Do we have a completion date?
Well, we're saying August 1st. It'll take about 45 working days to complete the project. The contractor's looking to start as early as next week, potentially Monday of the following week. And so we're getting ready to start construction, and we feel that we're moving pretty quickly.
Excellent. Mario Delgado, thank you for joining us. And so obviously lots of exciting things happening in our McAllen downtown. Gonna alleviate some of that traffic congestion, so definitely some good news. Roy, now back to you.
The city has taken bicycle safety up another notch. There's a new bright green bike box in place at the intersection of 29th and Gumwood. A bike box is a designated rectangle at an intersection that allows cyclists to stop ahead of traffic at a stoplight. The bike boxes allow a left-turning bicyclist to reach a better position for making a safe turn. And motorists can't make a right turn on a red light when there's a bike box present. The city of McAllen is planning on installing 7 more bike boxes around town by October.
Hundreds of people learn how to buy, build, or own their own home. The first-time home buyers got all the valuable information thanks to the 2014 Home Buyers Fair held recently at the McAllen Convention Center. There were free bilingual workshops and over 50 exhibitors, including mortgage companies, banks, and builders, to help residents interested in buying a home. The City of McAllen hosted a luncheon recently to thank all the community members that serve on our various advisory boards. The event was also held at the McAllen Convention Center. City leaders are continuously seeking volunteers to serve on various city-appointed advisory boards and committees. Those appointments are made by the mayor and city commissioners. You can look at the requirements and submit your application online at McAllen.net.
Finally today, World Cup fever is sweeping through the city of McAllen. The McAllen Convention Center is one of few hand-picked sites in the country selected to host an outdoor public viewing approved through FIFA. Hundreds of fans have been attending the daily broadcast. The public viewings are being aired on a huge 18x12 LED screen in the Oval Park.
That wraps up another edition of the McAllen Update. Be sure to catch us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course on McAllen.net. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roxanne Lerma.
And I'm Roy Canthu. Remember to visit one of our 2 popular splash parks. It's a great time for your family and a great way to beat the heat. Thanks for joining us.